Hey guys and girls, it's not often that I'm surprised by developments in the lever gun world, but this one really caught me by surprise. The gun, it's a Marlin 1894 Trapper, nothing new, but the cartridge, oh my goodness. Who'd have thunk it, you know, that Ruger would stuff the 10mm auto into a vintage lever gun design like this really nice Marlin Trapper. And I think we're gonna shoot some right now. Welcome to Tales from Target Suite, where I'll share my perspective on guns and shooting. This is George, by the way, and we'll have an adventure or two that will make even a grown man smile. You can tell I am way out of practice. I think it's been 9 months by now since the last video I put out. But I really wanted to make something kind of in-depth video here. First, kind of a welcome back to the channel. And so I've got several things that we're going to cover. Number one, and I've got a cheat sheet right here because I do have a lot to cover. And number one, we're going to talk about the 10mm. I kind of expected that to happen. The guy got so excited, and this is his first, my first, of course, video in a long time. And it's Thanksgiving. We had lots of people here, so lots of distractions. But he was going to leave out a lot of the good stuff that we're going to cover in this video. And so I'm going to go through that really quick, just the highlights, and then we'll dig deeper once we get into the video. But the first thing I want to talk about is why would Ruger put a 10mm auto into a lever gun? Is there any reason there? Also, we're going to talk about the reliability issues with a rimless cartridge in that traditional lever gun, kind of tied together. Then a segment that he completely left out in the intro, and that is danger, danger. And if you don't see any other part of the video, I hope you'll watch that one, because I fell in love with an offering from G9 Defense, and it's called the Woodsman, and I really liked that. I thought initially that it would be a great hunting round for the 10mm in the Trapper. You're going to want to see that. Then lever it or leave it. Oh no, see, I'm going to skip one. Then, can you shoot the 40 Smith & Wesson in this Trapper? There's a lot of guys are going to want to know, because 10mm, 40 Smith & Wesson, they're similar. Then love it or leave it. That's my overall take on the Trapper 10mm. And then I'm going to share some history in the me and mine section, or some happenings, a little update of what's been going on in our family. So stick around. Now let's get back to that other guy and see if he can get his thoughts on track. And I sure have missed you. So with all that said, let's shoot some more steel and jugs. And I think that's 10. So just in case you were wondering, that is the 10mm 180 grain flat nose full metal jacket from Winchester, the USA Ready ammo. Right now we're going to shoot some more Winchester. This is going to be the Target and Practice 180 grain also. But unless you're into cowboy action shooting or just expensive plinking, a lever gun like this needs to carry some punch. And that would mean it might be suitable for some kind of defense or hunting scenario. And if you believe this chronograph data right here with a 180 grain bullet traveling at, let me check my notes, 1,613 feet per second, I would say that it does fit that bill. It does. And so if you're looking for an excuse that the gun has plenty of power, well, I would say that the 10mm auto is up there. And if you already have, or you're planning to have, a 10 millimeter revolver or semi-auto in the future, well, that's just another reason why this 10 millimeter. By the way, this is the only one of its kind, not this particular rifle, but a 10 millimeter lever gun. The Ruger made Marlin 10 millimeter trapper is the only one out there. And so back to what I was saying, if you've got a 10 millimeter semi-auto or a revolver, then this would be a fantastic companion gun. More justification. I'm going to try to run that string of targets again, and I had the wrong cameras on. But anyway, let's shoot this more anyway, because the 10 millimeter auto has been a ton of fun to shoot, and we have been through this. Probably represents, this is nothing. I have already shot at least 150 rounds, I think, through this gun. But anyway, let's shoot some more steel. I've lost my touch, but what a great gun. It is a very well made. I love they call it, everybody calls it a brushed satin finish, but it's not a brush finish. I think it's a bead blasted finish, and it's very well executed. It does have room for a suppressor, and we may slap one on there for a future video. We played with it here at the range, and the suppressor that Austin has that would fit this did not suppress a whole lot, and so we'll see about that. But it does have a suppressor. It's got a really nice butt pad on here, which you don't need for a 10 millimeter as far as recoil goes, but it sure does help to hold the gun on your shoulder while you're cycling that big loop lever, which is not my favorite, but nonetheless, I'm sure most of you guys will like it. And I'll tell you what, this package size has really been great. I've enjoyed it. We all have. So let's shoot it some more. Then we're going to talk about danger. And I think I forgot to mention that in the intro. That was the one I was missing from earlier. All right, we brought the thunder. If you've been around the channel a long time, you know I used to shoot a soda called Blast. It was called Blast soda, and I got it here at one of the local grocery stores, and they quit carrying it. It was just broke my heart. But anyway, we found Diet Dr. Thunder, so we're going to bring the thunder with this from. That'll be our round of choice. All right, well, let's cover that danger. And when I started looking for 10 millimeter ammo, because I was pretty 10 millimeter ignorant, I found one made by G9 Defense. It was called the Woodsman. It's 145 grain, I believe, solid copper bullet, like I said, from G9 Defense. And my initial reaction was that's going to be a fantastic hunting round because of its design. I had second thoughts because I realized it probably would not work in the tubular magazine of a lever gun. And you know what? I'm going to let that other guy explain what I'm talking about. Well, I may be that other guy, but at least I've got a barn. And in this barn, we are going to do our test with the G9 Defense Woodsman ammo. I've got 3 rounds right here. I've topped it with a chunk of, this is actually a slug when I slugged one of my barrels a long time ago. So it's basically a lead weight, and that's going to mimic, in a sense, the pressure of a magazine tube spring as if this was loaded in. It'll mimic some additional rounds and the pressure of a magazine tube spring. So got a solid block of aluminum right here, and then we're going to strike the top of a log right here. Now, that may not look like a log, but it's solid wood. And the idea is not that we're trying to demonstrate that this G9 Defense ammo will detonate in the magazine tube under recoil. It might, and it might not. What I want to show is that if you drop your gun, there might be enough energy there to set off a chain reaction in the magazine tube. So that's what we're going to show, we hope to show here. It worked in the dry run, but we didn't have any cameras going. It wasn't a sophisticated setup like this one with the sophisticated high-speed camera and the sophisticated lighting setup and the sophisticated drop mechanism. With that said, let's see if we can capture this on camera, and then we'll make some comments afterwards. Yep, that would have been pretty devastating had it happened in a gun, but I still like that G9 Woodsman ammo, and we're gonna use it and test it in, we hope it will function well in the LC carbine 10mm that we have also. And I look forward to doing that in a future video with the LC carbine. But ixnay, oh nay on using that kind of ammo or any other pointy ammo in a lever gun. Now, where was I? Oh yeah, totally distracted. The owner's manual says that this rifle is chambered in 10mm, and it is not compatible. None of the 10mm 1894s are compatible with 40 Smith & Wesson. Well, let's let that other guy give you the answer to that question. You know, I still don't like being called that other guy, so I'm going to make this short and sweet. The case length on the 10mm is .992. The case length on the 40 Smith & Wesson is .850. That's 142 thousandths difference. Let's drop both of these rounds into the 10mm trapper and see where they wind up. Here we go. Well, there is the base of the 10mm, right where it should be, right where the bolt will close. Now let's take that out of there. And drop the 40 Smith & Wesson in, and it disappears because it goes deeper in. At least the base of the 40 Smith & Wesson goes 142 thousandths deeper into the chamber, but I can still dig it out. Now let's get back to that real other guy. And one thing I really like about this trapper is it's got a polished trigger. It is really nicely polished. And speaking of the trigger, if you've had any Marlin lever guns in the past, you know, you probably have heard about the Marlin trigger flop. And you know what? This one doesn't have it. Check this out. So there you have it. No trigger flop in this one. Now let's shoot some more. Flips those paddles around with some authority, I would say. Okay, so why would anyone want a 10mm auto lever gun? Well, as I said before, if you're dreaming of having, or you already have a semi-auto or revolver chambered in 10mm auto, this would be a fantastic companion. And it is plenty powerful from my perspective to be a companion rifle for a cartridge like that. People talk about how the 10mm can shoot through 2 bears and still have enough energy left to cook your Thanksgiving, in this case your Christmas turkey, but I think that's a little extreme. But nonetheless, it is a powerful gun, and like I said, in a video coming up, we're going to talk about just how much more power do you get out of the 16-inch barrel version of the 10mm auto. Well, I did cut the guy off about talking about reliability and the challenges to feeding the 10mm in the trapper, because we did have a hiccup. I wanted to give you a little more information. That lockup happened when I opened the lever partially to inspect the chamber to see if I chambered around. I had, and then when I closed the lever, well, it would not close. That's when it jammed. So we are going to work this through customer service. Just wanted to give you a little bit more detail. Now, back to that other guy. I have contacted customer service, and so we'll get that resolved. I will share that information with you in full once we get it resolved. I also mentioned that I had replaced my 1911 carry pistol with something. It is actually a SIG P365 macro. And I realized after I tried to shoot some content with that I need a little bit of trigger time to get more accustomed to a striker-fired pistol, having shot a 1911 almost exclusively. Still learning how to shoot a striker-fired pistol compared to a standard 1911 hammer, heavy-duty, external exposed hammer, internal striker. Everything about this guy is different. The trigger pull is different. The everything about it is different. So I'm still working through that. So I need a little bit of time, and then I'll share that SIG P365 with you. I really like it. It's about a third of the weight, certainly a half of the weight of that all-steel 1911. So patience. But I also wanted to share some pictures and video of our trip to, we took a family trip to Big Bend National Park in October. Janet was feeling pretty good, and we had a great time, saw some wonderful things. Hey guys and girls, George here with Tales from Target Suite. It's been a long time. I've almost forget how to do an intro, but I'm in Big Bend National Park in the far west part of Texas, southwest Texas. It's a special place, and 800,000 acres of a lot of remote and spectacular scenery. And we are staying in a house here called the Pedraza House, and in Lajitas. Got the whole family here. Grandma's here, my wife, both kids and their kids are here, and we're having a great time. But this is the last evening, and boy, did the Lord ever deliver a special treat for us to remember. And I'll turn around the camera here in just a second. But I wanted to say I miss y'all. I hope to have more content. We'll just see how things unfold. But I thought, even though the algorithm will ignore this, I'm still going to share it with you just to let you know that I'm okay. I did walk the Balance Rock Trail today, all the way there and back. No falls, no scrapes. And I thought I did pretty good for a 75-year-old man. I was wearing blue jeans. I was wearing suspenders and a cowboy hat. And I was the only guy on the trail dressed that way. So I felt pretty special. But anyway, let me turn the camera around and let you see what's going on in the background. And wow, and I look forward to seeing you all in another video, I hope soon. Lots going on here though, so we'll post as we can. But I just wanted to say hi. I sure miss you. Here we go.